Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of our Destroy Android shooter game. Today should be a pretty quick episode. All we're going to do is handle the ship firing its missiles. Now we're not going to handle collisions yet, but that'll be in a future episode. But at the very least we want the missiles firing from the ship. So to do that we need to be able to handle touch events from the user because we want it to fire whenever the user touches the screen. We already did this in the MoMash tutorial, so all we have to do is implement the touched method of our game canvas. So I'm going to go here to Source, Implement Methods, and I'm going to select Touched. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a private method that will actually fire off the missile. So in my touched event, all I'm going to do is call fire missile. And luckily, for actually getting the bullet to fly on the screen, it's going to be almost exactly the same as we did our Android sprite, falling from the top of the screen. The only difference now is we're firing from the ship upwards. So, I have this bullet, let's see, where is it? I have my Apple bullet, which we're going to be firing at the Android guy. And so first thing we need to do is we need to actually create our bullet sprite. So I'm going to go ahead down here and create a new inner class called bullet sprite. And just like the Android guy, it's going to be an image sprite. And have it implement the constructor for us. Okay, and that's actually all we need to do for now. Now we can actually create our new bullet object. So to do that, I'm going to create a new bullet object, and make sure to send in game canvas. And actually, let's make this image sprite bullet. And so we need to do a couple things. Just like the Android guy, we need to set the speed, the heading, the picture, the intervals, and give it an initial X and Y coordinate. So I'm going to start with the interval. And keep in mind, all these values that I just played around with. Depending on what device you're using, you'll probably have to change these values. I'm going to set its speed to 30. Its heading will be 90 because we're going the opposite way of the Android guy. Because if you remember, for Android we had -90, so now we just want 90. We don't care if it rotates, so I'm going to say false. The picture for the bullet is going to be that apple.png. You can have it be whatever you want, just make sure that it's in your assets folder. And I want to make sure that the bullet is visible. And I want to set a default X and Y coordinates. So the X is pretty easy. We want it to be to fire off exactly where the ship is. So to do that, I'm just going to take our ship sprite and set it to its X coordinate. For the Y, what I'm going to do is the Y will be similar to the ship, but we don't want it coming from the middle of the ship. We want it coming from in front of the ship. So I'm going to take the Y value of our ship sprite. And if you remember, the top left of the screen is 0, 0, so I want to subtract off some value, and I figured 80 looked the best. And lastly, I'm going to initialize it. Alright, so if we go ahead and run this, we should see bullets shooting out of our ship. Okay, so we have our Android guy from screen. So now if I click the screen, let's see if it fires off an apple. Alright, it does. Works fine. Like I said in the previous video, it looks laggy, but that's mainly because I'm doing screen recording, which is taking a lot out of my computer right now. But so that's it for this episode. In the next one, we are actually going to deal with when the apple collides with the Android guy, and we wanted to create a little bit of an explosion. And then, if you can see here, this is the apple getting stuck on the top of the screen. If you remember, for the Android guy, when it reached the bottom of the screen, we had to delete that component. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now, since it's not that big of a deal. If we go back to our bullet sprite, we had this edged reached method, and because it's the exact same, I'm just going to go ahead and copy it, and that solves that problem. Okay, so that wraps up this episode. I'll see you next episode for the collision detecting of the bullet and the Android guys.